Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's wait for 2-3 more minutes. Only 3 students are here now. So today I will cover your unit number 5. And the first topic from unit number 5 is your association rule. Okay. So today we will discuss association rule. Some of the part is given in unit 4 also. There is only the introduction. And here we have the detailed description of association rule, and we will discuss various algorithm also. Okay. So let's see what is association rule. Sometimes we also called it association rule mining. So in any association rule, we have to find out frequent item sets. And after considering the frequent item sets, we have to count support and confidence for the item set. Okay. So for the association means linking. If somebody is like this, then other person is also like this. Or if some event takes place, then another event also takes place. Okay. So this is mainly the use of association rule. The main purpose of this association rules is in the online shopping. If somebody is going to buy a particular product, he will also buy a particular product. So these kind of association will find out in the association rules. Okay. So after finding out the frequent item set, supports and count, we develop certain association rules. And to generate the association rule, we have a priori algorithm, and after applying a priori algorithm, the rule generation is there. Okay, so we'll discuss all these things in detail. So what is association mining? Finding the frequent patterns, association, correlation, or causal structure among the set of items or objects in the transactional database, relational database, and other information repositories. Okay, so these are all your database. Transactional database means when you have the collection of transaction. Relation means where you have the certain items which are interrelated, and information repositories where any combination of information is there. Okay, so in all these data sets, if you are going to find out what is frequent patterns, frequent patterns means association means one thing is linked with another thing. Correlations means how it is dependent upon another thing. And causal relation structure means if X is happen, then Y is also happen. So if any kind of these scenario occurs, then we called it association rule mining. What are the application? The first application is basket data analysis, cross marketing, catalog design, So in all these applications, these association rules can be occurred. So these are some more applications in detail. What is the first market basket analysis? In the market basket analysis, what happens? Given a database of customer transaction, where each transaction is a set of items, the goal is to find the groups of items which are frequently purchased together. If you're considering any supermarket examples, then what happened? If somebody purchases the bread, it's more often the case that if somebody is purchasing the bread, he will also purchase the bread. So bread and butter are the two items which are frequently buying together. Okay. So these kind of combinations which are frequently buying together, these are analysis of your market basket analysis. But within the basket, what are the items which are frequently buying together? As I've given the example of bread and butter. The similar example is bread and jam. Then there is a biscuit and namkeen are buying together. So there are so many market analysis in which one product is dependent upon another product. And we have the combination of two products which are buying together. Another application is telecommunication, where each customer is a transaction containing the set of phone calls. Each customer is a transaction containing the set of phone calls. Okay, so in the telecommunication, sometimes it happens you usually have a transaction in which you call two or more people more often. ठीक है, जैसे आपका कोई friend है उसे हर वक्त call कर रहे हैं या अपने घर पर call कर रहे हैं. So these are the conditions where the items occur frequent and one item is dependent upon another one. Then we have the credit card and banking system. Each card and account is a transaction containing the set of customers' payment. So in which the customer details and the combination of customer payments are interlinked. Then in medical treatment, each patient is represented as a transaction containing the ordered set of diseases. Ordered set of disease means if somebody has these symptoms, then it is having a particular disease. So like this type of association. So this is the symptoms, this is the disease. Okay, so this type of association can be find out in association mining, where the symptoms is dependent upon the cause of a particular disease. Then there is one more application, the basketball game analysis. Each game is represented as a transaction containing the ordered set of ball passes. Okay, so to analyze so many games, we have so many passes in which we have set of ball passes. So let's take one more example. This is the example of your market basket transactions. So if you look at in this diagram, what is happening here? There is some rectangular boxes, and within each rectangle boxes, there is certain items. Okay, so there's a first basket is collection of bread, peanuts, milk, fruit, and jam. Another basket is bread, jam, soda, chips, milk, and fruit. So what happens in each and every block is represent your basket, or each basket can be said as a transaction. Okay, so this is a number of transaction. These are the number of transactions. So total here we have 8 number of transactions. So within 8 transactions, we have certain item sets. Okay, so those items which are included into the particular rectangular box is called your item set. Okay, so first of all, you need to find out the item sets, and then you have to consider what are the number of transactions within which these item sets occur. So on the basis of these baskets, we have to develop certain association rule. Let's see. So that was a graphical representation. This is your database representation in which we have a transaction ID 1, and these are the items: bread, peanut, milk, fruit, jam. Then in transaction ID 2, we have certain items. Similarly, for 8 transactions, the items which is included into the particular basket is written here. So on the basis of this, we have to develop certain association rule, like bread tends to milk. If somebody is purchasing the bread, he will purchase the milk too. Then soda tends to chips. If somebody purchases the soda, then he will also purchase the chips. Another association rule is bread tends to jam. If somebody purchases the bread, then it will purchase the jam. There are so many others association rule can also be developed. Like reverse is also possible. Milk tends to bread, chips tends to soda, jams tends to bread. Or we can make certain other association rules like fruits tends to milk, fruits tends to peanuts, fruits tends to yogurt, yogurt tends to fruit. So all possible combinations can be taken for the association. Okay. So given a set of transactions, find the rules that will predict the occurrence of an item based upon the occurrence of other items in the transaction. Okay. So how often we'll consider that? We'll find out the transaction sets, and we have to find out the frequent item set, that those are frequently appearing in a particular transactions, and we have to find out the combinations. So if you look at the first item set, bread is there. In the second item set, bread is there, and within these two item set we have milk also. In the first transaction we have milk, in the second one we have milk also. So we can make a transaction association rule, bread tends to milk. Similarly, for the soda, you can say in the transaction ID 4, 5, 6, 7, we have an item named soda here. And we have two item sets, transaction ID 5 and 6, where the chips are also occurred. So we make association rule, soda tends to chips. So to find out whether these association rule that we have built is relevant or not, to find out the relevance, we need two parameters. One is support, one is confidence. Okay, so based upon the values of support and confidence, we will find out whether the particular association rule is valid or not. Let's see. So what is the item set? First, item set is a collection of one or more items. Okay, so for example, milk, bread, jam considered to be the item set. Okay, K item set, an item set that contain K items. It means if you look at this item set, milk, bread and jam, 3 items are there. So we call it 3 item sets. Okay. If only one item is there, suppose milk is only present, so we call it 1 item set. So depending upon the number of items, we called it K item set. If K items are there, we called it K item sets. 2 items is there, we call it 2 item set. Okay. After considering the item sets, we count the support and confidence. So how we count the support? Support is the frequency of occurrence of an item set. Okay. Frequency of occurrence of the item set in a total number of transactions. Like, and the support count is denoted by your sigma sign. Okay. So sigma milk bread is equal to 3 is written here. So how we'll get this 3? Because 3 transactions that will support milk, that will also support your bread. The transaction ID 1 in which both bread and milk is there. In the transaction ID 2, we have bread and milk. Then there is one more transaction ID, that is ID number 5, in which milk and bread is also present. So we have to count the total number of transactions which supports both the item set. Okay. So for the support of milk and bread, we count how often the occurrence of these two item sets together. Okay. So support count of milk and bread is 3 because the transaction ID 1, 2 and 5 will support this. In the transaction ID 1, 2 and 5, both milk and bread is present. Similarly, we count the support of soda and chips. This is another 2 item set, soda and chips, 2 items is there. To need to count the support, what we do? We need to count the number of transactions IDs which support these two. So transaction ID number 3, transaction ID number 4, transaction ID number 5, and transaction ID number 6. Okay. So these are the 4 transaction IDs which supports both soda and chips together. So we'll have 4 here. Okay. So this is your support count value. Now we have to find out the support value. To find out the support value, it is the fraction of transactions that contain at item set. To find out the fractions, what we do? We take support count divided by the total number of transactions. Okay. So total number of transactions is 8 here and support count is 3. And support is denoted by small s. The support of milk and bread is 3 divided by 8. And support of soda and chips is 4 divided by 8. Okay. So in this way, you can find support count and support also. So you can take any other example. Like we'll take an example of bread and peanuts. So if you find out bread and peanuts, so this will occur only one time. Transaction ID 1 is supported. So support count is 1 here. And if you want to calculate the support, the fraction is 1 by 8. So in this way, we can find out support count and support. First, you generate an item set. Suppose this is a 2 item set. You can generate the 3 item set also. And first count the support count. How many transaction IDs will support all these 3 items together. And based upon that support count, if we divide it by the total number of transactions, we will get the support. How we called a frequent item set? What is the definition? An item set whose support is greater than or equal to the minimum threshold. So there is a threshold value. So those who are having the greater support than this threshold value, we called it a frequent item set. Okay. So like bread and peanuts, if we take in bread and peanuts, these are not your frequent item sets because it occurs only once. So there is always a minimum threshold value, and those item sets who are having the support greater than this threshold set to be a frequent item set. So what is the association rule? Association rule implies in the form of x tends to y. Okay, where nx and y are the item sets. Okay. So always we write association rule in the form of x tends to y, where x and y are the item set. Examples is like bread tends to milk. If somebody is purchasing the bread, he will purchase the milk also. To evaluate the association rule, we use the evaluation matrix, that is support and confidence. Okay, so we use 2 matrix, support and confidence. So what is support? Support is the fraction of transaction that contain both x and y. As I already told, the value of support is support count divided by the total number of transactions. Okay. So if you talk about bread and milk and the total number of transactions, the value is come out to be 0.38. And what is the confidence? Confidence is measures how often items in y appears in the transaction that contains x. Okay, so there is a difference between these two. In the support, we are considering the number of transactions which are containing both an x and y. And in the confidence, we measure how often y appears in the transaction that contain x. Suppose within the transaction, if it contains x, then it will also contain y or not. So how it is different? To compute the confidence, what we do? We'll take the support count of bread and milk. Okay. But to calculate the confidence, we divide it by the number of transactions which contains the first one, which contains the x. Okay. So there's only one difference in calculating the support and count. In both the values, the first part is very similar. First, we have to calculate those transactions which contain both bread and milk. Suppose this is the support count. So sigma bread and milk is there in both the values, but the divisor is different. Here we are dividing with the total number of transactions, and here we are dividing with only X number of transactions. So this is only the transaction where the number of X will occur. Let's look at the diagram. Suppose the association rule is bread tends to milk. Okay, so there are how many transactions which contains bread and milk? So there are 3 transactions which contain bread and milk. So support value is 3 divided by total number of transactions, that is 8. Okay, so to calculate the confidence, what we do? We'll calculate the sigma bread and milk, that is 3. But for the division, we have to consider only those transactions which contain only bread, X items. Okay, so we have to find out where the bread is occurred. So in the transaction 1, 2, 3, and 5, the bread is occurred. So the value is now 4. So if to calculate the confidence, what we do? We divide 3 by 4. Okay, and here we divide 3 by 8. So in this way, you can calculate support and confidence. And after calculating the support and confidence, you have to calculate whether they are greater than the minimum threshold or not. If they are greater than the minimum threshold value, then we will consider that. So support and confidence is like that. The customer buys both. So this is an intersection. So there is one customer who buy bread, and those are the customer who buys milk only. So the goal is we have to define for a given transaction T, the goal of association rule mining is to find all rules having support greater than the minimum threshold and confidence greater than the minimum threshold confidence. So there are 2 values. One value is for the threshold value for support and one value is threshold value for confidence. And if we are considering any rule, so calculated values should be greater than these 2 defined values. So one approach is the brute force approach. What is the brute force approach? Is list all possible association rules and then compute the support and confidence of each rule. And then we prune out those rules that fails the minimum support and minimum confidence thresholds. And brute force approach is computationally prohibited. क्यों prohibited है? अगर आप देखेंगे तो we have only taken 8 transactions in which a limited item is there. But in an actual or real-time scenario, this is not the case. Okay, so we have thousands of the transactions in which hundreds of the items are there. So brute force approach is not good at all to calculate the association rule because it's quite complex. Let's see the example from the very same in which the association rule is different. This is the association rules which is dependent upon 3 item sets: milk, bread, and jam. Okay, so we have divided these 3 item sets into different association rules. Okay, so in the association rule, X tends to Y and Y tends to X is not same. Okay, so if you make a rule, bread tends to milk and milk tends to bread, these are not the same one because they are calculating in a different manner. Sometimes it is feasible with the support and count values of these 2 rules are different. Okay, so in the association rule, vice versa is not possible. So there is a partition of the 3 item set and the item set is milk, bread, and jam. So by using these 3 item sets, we generate so many rules. The first rule is bread, jam tends to milk. The second one is milk, jam tends to bread. Then bread tends to milk, jam tends to bread, milk tends to bread, jam. So you can see we are changing the values of the item sets and there are different rules are generated. And if we calculate the support and confidence value, so we can see the support value is very same 0.24, but the confidence value is different. Okay, in the first 3 cases, the confidence value is same, but last 2 cases, the confidence value is different. Okay, so based upon these support and confidence value, the last two association rules can be neglected. Okay, so rules originating from the same item sets have identical support but can have different confidence. So we can decouple the support and confidence requirement, and based upon the threshold values, we have to select the support and confidence. So how we'll generate the association rules? To generate the association rule, first we have to find out the frequent item sets, generate all item set that support is greater than the minimum defined support. Then for rule generation, generate the high confidence rules from the frequent item set. If you decide the frequent item set, then we can generate those rules who are having the high confidence value. Each rule is a binary partitioning of the frequent item sets. Okay. So each rule can be generated by the binary partition. Binary partition means can divide and you can make certain number of combinations. Frequent item set generation is computationally expensive. Okay. So generation of frequent item set is computationally expensive. So this is the generation of frequent item set. Initially we have null value. Then we have different item sets A, B, C, D, E. So we have 5 different item sets. At the first layer, we called it one item set, in which within the circle, only one item is present. So by the combination of these items, we generate 2 item set like A, B, A, C, A, D, A, E. Okay. Then B, C, B, D, B, E, C, D. Okay, so we are not generating the item set BA, because if AB is there, so BAE is very similar. So this is the combination of 2 item set. Then from 2 we generate 3 item set, 3 to 4 item set, and finally a 5 item set ABCD. So given a D item set, there are 2 raised to the power D possible candidate item sets. So this is a brute force approach. Each item set in a lattice is a candidate frequent item sets. We have to count the support of each candidate by scanning the database and match each transaction against every candidate. And the complexity is n raised to the power m into w. Okay, we'll see how we'll get this. Where m is your number of candidates. Okay, how many candidates you are taking. Okay. So to generate the frequent item sets generation strategy, actually to fulfill all these 3 requirements, we have different types of algorithm. The first is reduce the number of candidate. It's a complete search will take m equal to 2 raised to the power d and use pruning techniques to reduce the m. It means you are eliminating those items which are not frequent. So those candidates can be eliminated. The next possible solution is reduce the number of transactions, in which you are reducing the size of n as the size of the item set increases. Okay. So you are reducing the number of transactions. And the third one is reduce the number of comparison. Use efficient data structure to store the candidates or the transaction. No need to match every candidate against every transactions. So these are the possible solution of these problems. Either you reduce the number of candidates, मतलब आपके जो A, B, C, D values हैं या items हैं आपके पास जितने, उनको reduce कर लीजिए, या आपके number of transactions reduce कर दीजिए, या फिर आपके number of comparison reduce कर दीजिए. तो हमारी जितनी भी algorithms हैं जो अभी हम पढ़ेंगे आगे, a priori, incremental, and there are so many others algorithms. These are all based upon these strategies, how to solve these particular problem of association rules. Because in each and every, if you have a collection of transactions, so there are so many possible association rule, and it's not feasible to calculate all the possible association rule and calculate the support and count. So we'll take the help of these algorithms to generate only those values which are able to find out frequent item sets and the relevant support and count are considered. So on the next one, we will discuss the a priori algorithm. If you have any problem, you can ask. Today I will give you assignment number 1. Okay. And the submission date is also mentioned there in the assignment. So you do the assignment and submit it there.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.